Hi there, today we're going to be unboxing a robot vacuum cleaner. So this particular one is by a company called Zigma. Details are in the description below for anyone thinking of purchasing. So this is the Spark model. So in terms of robot hoover technology, there's three different types of robot hoover out there. So gyroscope, and this is where there's no camera or laser fitted on the hoover, and what actually happens, the gyroscope will bounce back when it meets an obstacle. So in these situations with these products, what happens is the cleaning path is sometimes unplanned and very inefficient because you may end up going over a lot of areas you've already covered. Next one is V-Slam, and this is the one where the device is fitted with a camera and a laser. So it works in conjunction to obviously map out the area. One thing to note, obviously, in terms of privacy, what's the camera picking up, what's happening to this data? So one to keep aware of. This particular robot hoover has a laser on there only, and this laser actually scans the whole room, creates a virtual map of the environment, and then plans out its route to clean up the area. Now, the advantage of this is obviously your privacy is maintained, and the laser is only scanning around the area and building up an image of what's in its way. So I received two packages for this particular product. First one contains the robot vacuum cleaner. You can see a picture of it there. And the second one is a water tank and mop pad set. So let's open it all up and see what you get in the packaging. Okay, so I've laid out everything you get in the packaging, and from this side onwards, everything that came in the water tank packaging is there, and everything from the hoover packaging is on this side. Let me quickly describe the items on the water tank side. So you've got an instruction manual, all in English. It's just literally just a sheet of paper, just describing how to replace things and cleaning wise, all in English. Next, you've got a replacement mop pad. So soft in feel. If I can come in close, just see build quality wise, it does feel good. Very strong material, and it's washable as well. Next, you've got the water tank here, and if I come in close there, you can just see clean the water tank. Just got details of how to clean this up. You've got a point where you can fill up water. Rubbery on this, so it easily comes off. All plastic, strong plastic all the way around. You've got the levels of water in there, so from 100 milliliters up to 300 milliliters. Below that, you've got another mop pad which can be removed, so it's just stuck on Velcro style. So when you finish using it, you can just take it off, put the replacement on, and then wash them as required. Some metal points here, and that's it. Build quality wise does feel nice, good strong plastic finish. Now let's move on to the hoover products, everything on this side. Initially, you've got an instruction manual, multi-language, basic details on setting this up and using it, and just a flick through there. Quite straightforward, and all the details you need to get using on this. Quick guide on setting up the hoover and charging it up. Then you've got Zigma app instructions. Then you've got Live the Future, some details about their support and warranty details, and then remote control operation guide. All these sheets of paper are in English. Next, we have a remote control, so it's covered in plastic. I'll take that off. So glossy finish on the top there, rubber buttons coming around the underneath. Some details there: charge, pause, start, suction, power, partial cleaning, and edge clean. So that's what's possible with the remote control. Opening up the cover, takes two AAA batteries. Build quality wise seems reasonable. Next, we have some side brushes, so indicators on there for left, indicator on these for right, all soft on these, and points for installing on the hoover itself, so it just plugs straight in. Next, we have a replacement HEPA filter, small in design. There's a little lip here where you can pull it up, and I'll show later how to replace this. Then we have a cleaning brush, firm bristles on here. There's a knife point here where you can cut things, so you can slot things in to cut, and plastic area here. Power adapter now, cable length wise, it's 1.4 meters in length. DC connector on there. Build quality seems reasonable. No good to me because it's a EU socket, so I'll use a travel adapter on there. Output wise, we've got 19 volts, 600 milliamps. Then we have a charge station here. So this is where the hoover docks in to maintain a charge. 2 metal clips there, all plasticky, glossy around here. Looks like an LED indicator here. Matte finish underneath, and if we come underneath, we've got some rubber pads to stop it from slipping on the floor. Output voltage is 19 volts and output current is 0.6 amps. Now let's take a look at the actual robot hoover itself. So in terms of diameter, 33 centimeters in diameter, with the wheels sitting in place. If you've got the hoover on the floor, we're talking about 7.5 centimeters. The laser at the top here is about 2 centimeters tall. Now this can be removed. Looking at the top, we've got some branding here, button there for home and a power button, and looks like an LED indicator there. Now coming around the back here, you've got some vents here, got a QR code underneath there, power button, DC power point, and rubber along the front here in case it knocks into anything. Coming around further, still more rubber. So half of it on here is all rubber, glossy on here and matte on the rest of it. Down the bottom, you can see the location of the dust container. Then you have brushes for hoovering up, and this is where the side brushes go. 3 wheels, obviously this one rotates. This one is just in one direction, and you can actually feel the motors behind this. This doesn't have any motor to go with there, and you can see the clip points for the side brushes. If I turn it this way, it says L on there for left and R on there for right. Coming in close, you can see Zigma Smart Vacuum Cleaner. The model is a Spark 980. Adapter is 19 volts, 0.6 amps, and battery is lithium. Build quality wise, feels good. A nice solid build quality to it and a fair size to it. Taking the dust collector out is very easy. So you can see the orange clip here. If I push that down, it just pulls straight out. Now looking on the top of the dust collector, if I open that, you've got the HEPA filter there. If I pull that out, and you can replace it with the replacement one. Closing it up, just to give you an idea of the container. So that's the space where all the dust will be collected. Now to put the water container on, you can see it's a similar size, just wider at the bottom area. And with that, similar way, just slots straight in. And there you have it. And again, to remove this one, press the button down and it just comes out. Let's make a start at setting up the hoover. So first of all, the remote control, very simple. Open it up, place the batteries inside. Next, the charging station. It's just a matter of taking the DC connector, plugging it into the side here, and we can plug in the other end. So I've got an early version of this before this is released in the UK. So I can just use a travel adapter to plug in this plug. It's simple as that for me. On the back of the hoover, let's install the side brushes. So the right one here should clip straight in like so, and the left one just over here. And that's it. These are now installed. One thing to show about the robot hoover is the fact there's a bumper on the front, and just to show how it moves, very light in feel, and obviously rubber around the side. So if it does nudge into something, it just senses it straight away. Now you can see I've set the base station up. It's plugged in here. If I press the button to turn it on, green light comes on. Now the 2 contacts here, the silver ones, link up with this on the base station to charge up. Now to get this charging, first thing we want to do is turn the device on, press that, lights are flashing away. Now if I place it into position.
Welcome to your vacuum robot. I'm ready to serve you. I am ready.
There you go. So it's saying it's ready. Next, let's install the app for this robot hoover. So I'm at my Android phone here. If I go to the Play Store and we search for Zigma, top app's the one we're after. So I click on that, click install, and let's give it a moment. Now the app's installed, let's click open. So now we need to register an account. So if I click on the register button, the Zigma service agreements here. If I scroll to the bottom, there's a tick box here to say I have read and agreed. Click next. Some rights and privacy protection info here. If we go across, keep going and click allow. Next we need to confirm our location. It's picked up United Kingdom, so I can click confirm for that. And now I need to register an account. So let me enter in my details off camera. Now that the account is registered and signed in, this is what you're presented with. So to add in the Hoover, we'd go to Add Device, and it wants rights to take pictures and record video, and that's to scan in the QR code that's at the side over there on the Hoover. So I'll click Allow to that, and allow Zigma to access photos, media and files on your device. Allow to that. Okay, so let me scan in the QR code off camera. Now the QR code scanned in, it needs our Wi-Fi details. So that's my test network. So let me enter in my Wi-Fi password off camera. Now let me click Next, and it's saying restart the robot, long press, 3 to 5 seconds. The robot will make a prompt sound, confirmed above. So if I hold on to the button here,
connecting to network.
okay, so now if I click confirmed above, click Next, let's give it a moment.
Network connection successful.
There we have it. It's connected successfully to the Wi-Fi network. Now if I click confirm, and there you go, added in, as simple as that. Now if we look at the icon, it's saying common devices, robot offline. Now if I click on it, this is what we're presented with: cleaning time, cleaning area, charge remaining. So if I click in, so now it's updated and you can see the charge remaining is 53%. Now, if I click in the corner here, you can see some additional details. So breakpoint sweep, when it is turned on, the robot will continue from where it stopped on the last unfinished clean. Okay, so that's useful. So if it has been stopped midway, you can get it to continue. So we'll leave that on, that's quite useful. Voice pack, okay, so you can use different languages with this as well. So you can see Chinese, English, German and French on there at the moment. Then you've got unit of area, square meters, or you can have square feet. Then you've got volume adjustment. So you can turn it down if it's too loud. And then you've got device nickname, so it's robot. Then we have display on home page, so you can turn it off so it doesn't display on the home page. Shared device, so you can share it with other people. Room management, so got default room in there at the moment. Check for updates, so that's the firmware version on there at the moment. Then you have model, other than third-party connection. Let's click on that. And these are third-party controls that can link in to this smart Hoover. Below that, you have delete device, and that's all that's available in settings. Coming back now, looking towards the bottom, so you've got overall, zone, record, and then down here you've got dock and start clean, and that's it. Nothing more beyond that. Now we're ready to go. Let's go back into the Hoover and click start clean.
Cleaning started.
And let's leave it to see how it does. And if we click down here where it says control, you can change the cleaning option on the Hoover. So at the moment it's on high cleaning efficiency, and I can actually take it up. Highest cleaning efficiency. So the motor increases in power, and I can also take it down as well.
Silent cleaning started.
Minimum noise, they say on this one. So excellent that you can adjust this. So if you had a lot of dust and you wanted intensive cleaning, at least you can adjust the settings on there. Now, going back to the app, this is quite interesting what we're seeing here. So I can actually zoom in to the area it's mapped out, and up here you can just see the charging point, which is green. Yellow icon is the robot vacuum cleaner, and now coming out you can see my bean bags just over here and the area it's covered. So the lines you see is all the lines where it's been cleaning up. Now coming into the area here, the lower down areas, it's done quite well, and the areas it couldn't come into, obviously it's just stayed away from it. So the lasers obviously mapped it out quite well. And if I come out, that's what you see. So looking down below now, you've got overall, which is what you're seeing here. If I click on zone, and this is where you can set up virtual walls or restricted areas or clean zones. So where you don't want it to enter. So for example, if I draw a wall in there, and it won't enter that area. Let's take that out for now. So restricted area wise, I can click add, and this square appears. I can resize it as I want, and it won't enter that area. I can just click add, adds another one. So you can add a few areas like that, or you can just go on there and cancel out of there. Then finally, clean zone. So this is the zone you want it to clean. So you can say add, and you can say like so. This is the area you want it to clean. And again, it's just as simple as execute, and it's on there now. Now going back in there, I can select it and delete it. So quite useful. You can set areas you don't want it to go near. So for example, I showed a few plugs in the area, so I can have a location where things are just left in a bit of a mess, and I know the vacuum cleaner won't enter that area. So it's quite useful to be able to do that. And then if we go to record, and this is its report. So cleaning report here. And if we go to map record, so total time was 18 minutes. Area cleaned was 16 square meters, and it's done it once so far. Going in there, that's the actual zone it's covered. It's got a date and time on there as well. Coming back again. You see here, so your timings. So charging wise, you can see 9 minutes dock, 0 offline, 0 minutes, and error 0. Frequency, sweep 3 times, charging twice, and that's it. So quite straightforward to get up and running. It's not too complex in any way. It's nice you've got the additional functionality as well, where you can set restricted zones or even create walls. So very impressed so far. Next, let's fill up the water tank and try the mopping option out. So simple as opening that up, putting it under a tap, and just gently filling it up. Best not to go too fast in case you miss the hole there and it splashes everywhere. There you go, that's in there now. Okay, now let's insert it onto the Hoover. Pull this down, pull out the existing dust collector, and the mop.
Charging started.
There you go, slot straight in, and that's it. Now it's ready to use. In terms of mopping, now you do have different mopping options on there. So if I start to clean now, we go to control, and this is the flow of the water. So if I take that down, it has a light, there you go, a light flow. Medium was a default.
Heavy mopping started. Heavy mopping started.
Heavy mopping now. So let's leave it to clean up now.
Cleaning has been completed.
There you go, so mopping's completed. So in terms of cleaning, you can see along the side there's a small narrow gap where it didn't touch the sides. That's not a bad thing, there's only a certain region it can reach. So if I come into the bathroom now,
Charging started.
coming in there, I'd say a small region here and along there. But looking at it, it has done a good job of mopping up the floor, and it didn't have to do anything. Bin was there, and it just nudged the bin. You've got things like this that you can move while it's mopping. An advantage, at least you get a good clean. But impressed, it's done a good job of mopping up the area. I thought it'd be worth showing mop after mopping. So you can see level of dirt is picked up off the floor, and if I open that up, little bits of dust is picked up. So even after hoovering, it still picked up a few bits here and there. So it does both. It does hoover, and after, as it's covering over the area, it returns back to mop the area. So good bit of functionality there. So if you're gonna mop and hoover, it does both in one go for you. Now I'm on my stair landing area, and just to show, if I can maneuver the camera, there's a step here. The carpet has little bits of dirt on there already, and let me initiate a clean and let's see how it reacts to the step being there. So the thing to be aware of, if it sees a dark area, so you can't really use this if you had black carpet for instance, it will actually stop. So let's test this out.
Cleaning started.
There you go. It's stopping at the step. I was a bit nervous, I thought it might go.
Cleaning has been completed.
There you go. It's done it. Prove the point that on a landing it does have sensors, and if it sees a darked out area, obviously the step, whatever it picks up, it won't move any further. It's an excellent bit of functionality there. And in terms of cleaning, there was a number of dusty areas on the carpet, and it has done a good job of cleaning it up. So really pleased and impressed with it. Now the landing's been cleaned, let's see how much dust it's managed to pick up. So I've not opened this so far, and there you go, actually quite a bit. So it's quite a shock how much it's come out with, but just proves the point that it does clean, and it does clean really well. Now for the next test, I've actually got the Hoover running in the lower part of my house, and this is a through lounge area, and it's coping very well. I'm very curious to see how it would cope with different surfaces and adjusting to them. So first of all, there's a thick rug, and it easily climbed on top of it. We've got some soft pads there, climbed onto those as well, and coming over here, a threshold which it did manage to climb over, but knocking it a few times I did feel a little bit uncomfortable. So what I did in the app, I just set up to say it was a virtual wall. As the wheels have a high adjustment on there, it doesn't struggle going over slightly higher areas. And if I come in there just to show the height, there you go, no issues there. Climb straight over, and you think it's going to get stuck, but no, it just carries on. Okay, now in the kitchen, underneath the cabinets, you see it's gone in quite well. There's a slight slot there, just if I can show, and there. So height wise it's actually perfect, just slots straight underneath your kitchen cupboards. For my next test, what I've done, I've sprinkled some flour onto the floor, and I did a robot vacuum cleaner a long time ago, and it did struggle in a situation where the dust was actually very fine. So let's give it a go with this and see how it copes. And the other thing to note is this is an engineered floor which is grooved slightly, so it's not smooth on top, it's actually got little grooves, so some of the stuff that's on the floor may stick in there, so it should be interesting to see how it copes with this. Now let's initiate a clean, and you can see I've set some restricted zones, so in theory it shouldn't go into those areas. And just to confirm, it's on high efficiency cleaning. There you go. So it's a maximum cleaning now. Wow, I'm impressed. So it's managed to pick the bulk of it up. There's a little bit left just over there. And what I did do, I did sort of rub it into the floor a little bit.
Cleaning has been completed.
So not too bad. And if we look what's left, what I can do, let me hit the clean again, just to initiate it, just to let it go over it one more time. What I'll do, I'll change the restricted zone a little bit more, make it a bit tighter.
Charging started.
Let's click execute and start clean.
Cleaning started.
So again, let me check the settings, let me put it on the maximum.
Max cleaning started.
Wow, okay, it's done it. There you go, completely gone. So even with the finest of dust, it's actually easily managed to pick it up. And just to note, obviously it was second time round just to pick up the final remnants of it, but impressed, it's worked well. Now I've cleaned a large area using the robot vacuum, and just to show on my phone, the area cleaned was 39 square meters and the cleaning time was 43 minutes. Now, interesting to see the dust that was collected via this. So if I come in here close, lots of it. If I now empty it onto this piece of paper, really impressed. So picked up a lot of dust, which was on wooden flooring, which was on a rug and tiles as well. So quite a lot of area was covered, and quite interesting to see the amount of dust that was picked up by it. So really impressed. Next, let me show how to set up the robot vacuum cleaner to work with both the Google Home and the Amazon Alexa. So I've got my product set up here at my Android device. Now, if we go for the Google Home first, if I click here, click in the corner, go to Assistant Settings, Assistant and Home Control. Then if we click on the plus, that's here. Now if I click here and we search for Zigma, and that's the service we want. So now let me enter in my credentials for the account I use for the Zigma application. So let me do that off camera. Now I've entered in my credentials, let me click sign in. And there you go, it's successfully linked to my Zigma account. Now if we go back, and if I scroll down right to the bottom, I can see robot. If I click on there, and there you go. So at the moment it's showing it's paused. You've got on, dock, and if I click here in settings, you can change the name if you wanted to, if you want to give it a different name. You can add to a home and you can unlink. So now if I hit the play button here,
Cleaning started.
let's hit pause.
Cleaning suspended.
So you can control it via the Google Home app, so that's good that you can do that, so you can have all your smart tech under one roof, literally. Now below that we've got the on button, dock button. So now if I unmute my Google Home,
The microphone is back on.
I should be able to say start robot.
Okay, starting robot.
Cleaning started.
There you go. And now if I say stop robot,
Okay, stopping robot.
Cleaning suspended.
just in good time, just before it knocked it out. But there you go. You can control it via Google Home, and very simple to set up to do that. Now if I say dock robot,
Okay, docking robot.
Returning to charging base. Charging started.
there you go. So you can even return it back to the dock. So good functionality, but obviously be aware you need space around it. And I had to quickly move my Google Home and Amazon Alexa just to be able to cope with that one. But a good functionality and simple to set up, as you've seen. Now let me show how to set up the robot vacuum cleaner to work with the Amazon Alexa. So I've got the Alexa app here on my Android phone. Click here in the corner, skills and games, and we search for Zigma. And that's the skill we want. If I click there, enable to use, and same as before with the Google Home, we just need to enter our credentials in. So let me do that off camera. I've entered in my credentials, let me click sign in, and there you go, successfully linked now. So if I close that off, click discover devices, let's give it a moment. Okay, so that's completed. Let's click devices. Moving across, if I go to all devices and we scroll down to the bottom, there you go, robot. So that's the robot, and it's simple as that, added in. So as you can see, there's no additional options like you have on the Google Home. Looking at the description, it says robot can be turned on/off. So it looks like that's the only functionality you have under Alexa. Now, if I go to my Alexa and unmute it, I should be able to say, turn on robot.
Okay. Started.
Turn off robot.
Okay. Returning to charging base.
So there you go. Needs a bit of space just to redock again, but works well and simple to set up, as you've seen. So works with both the Amazon Alexa and the Google Home, and simple to set up for both systems. Now, looking at the functionality you get with both the Google Home and the Amazon Alexa, I actually prefer the functionality on the Google Home only because you had the options available via the Google Home app, so additional options in there where you could start it, pause it, and even dock it via the controls available, whereas on the Amazon Alexa, you're limited by just voice control alone, so you can start it and stop it, and that's it. So both work, but I think Google Home has the edge in terms of functionality. Next, let me show the automation option here at the bottom. So if I click there, and this allows you to set a schedule for the robot hoover to work automatically. So if I click add automation, we give it a name. I've called it auto clean start, and we can set a condition. And for this, it's just a time we want it to start. So if I put 1820, for instance, and we can say do the following. So these are the actions available on this one. So on, off, dock. So if I just say turn it on, so that should auto clean. Next, if I create another one, we call this one stop auto clean. Again, we can say 1 minute later, we want to do the following, just dock the device and not stop it where it is. Let's click save to that. And now 1 minute away, it should kick in at 1820. Let's give it a moment.
Cleaning started.
There you go, auto clean initiated.
Returning to charging base.
There you go, 1 minute's up. It's done 1 minute of cleaning and it's just returning back to the docking station. So excellent functionality here. You can actually have a timer set to auto clean daily if you wanted to at a certain time. So very impressed. Next thing to show is if I now go here, turn off my Wi-Fi, so we're just connected to 4G, go onto the robot and click Start Clean.
Cleaning started.
There you go. Cleaning starts.
Cleaning suspended.
And I've stopped it straight away. So that proves the point that remotely you can connect to the robot vacuum cleaner and initiate a clean. So if you're out and about and you thought your property needs a clean, you can just kick it off. By the time you get home, in theory, it should be done. One thing to be aware of, if you did have an alarm, this could potentially set it off. Next thing to demonstrate is the remote control you get with the device. So you can initiate a clean from this. So if I hit the play button.
Cleaning started.
I'll hit that to pause.
Cleaning suspended.
It suspends it. Now if I come out a bit, start again.
Cleaning started.
You can change the intensity of the cleaning as well by clicking this.
Max cleaning started. Silent cleaning started. Standard cleaning started.
Now by clicking here,
Partial cleaning.
initiates a partial clean, and with this you can actually control the hoover yourself if you wanted to. So if I now click here, so if you wanted an area cleaned up and you want to manually control it, you can do it via here. Spin it around. Let's click this one. No icons, so it doesn't seem to be doing anything, and the top one is just to return home.
Returning to charging base.
There you go. So you're not reliant on using the app. You can use a normal remote and control that comes with it as well. Now in terms of buttons on the hoover, so you've got two buttons at the top and obviously a power button at the side. Now if I click the power button,
Cleaning started.
initiates a clean. If I press it again,
Cleaning suspended.
suspends it, and then the home button, if I press that,
Returning to charging base. I've been stopped. I will not be returning to my charging base.
So functionality is available directly on the actual robot hoover, so you can initiate cleans, stop it in mid-motion if something actually happened and it was wrong, so you'd have to rush about looking for the remote or the app itself, and you can initiate a dock straight back to the docking station. Now here's an interesting option in the robot vacuum. So if I select the robot, click here, click on voice pack. These are the custom voice packs on here, but you can actually record your own voice pack. So if I click the button down here, create a custom voice package, select voice package template, we'll just go for English. We can call this test, click confirm. So these are all the statements the robot vacuum gives out. So if I scroll down, you can see how many there are. There's quite a few there, and you can create your own specific ones. So if I click here to record, and you can see down below it says charging start. So if I hold on to this, I can record charging start. Once it's done, I can click use, and it assigns it directly to the voice pack. Now for this, you'd really want to go through every single one here. So as you can see, finish cleaning, main roller jammed, just keep going down. Once you've finished, you can just hit save. Whether to use voice package just recorded, we can click confirm. And there you go. It's uploading it and installing it on the robot. And there you go, that's done. So let me record a couple and then you can see it in action. Let's test out the custom voice pack. So now if I click start clean,
Cleaning start.
there you go, that was my voice, and I can just hit stop.
Cleaning suspended.
So you can do the commands for every single one you have available. So interesting bit of functionality you get there. Okay, so you've seen the unboxing and setup of this robot hoover. Pretty cool bit of tech here. Very simple to set up and use. App control works really well. You can set timers on there to automate this. You can remotely connect to the hoover and initiate a clean. You get a remote control, so you can control it off there. And it's pretty cool how you can mop an area as well. Be aware, obviously, you can't use the mopping function on a carpet. So there you go. Hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing a robot vacuum cleaner. Details are in the description below. Thanks for viewing, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.